All right, now I have Professor Uwaleke live from Abuja. Professor Uwaleke, good afternoon, if you can hear me. Yes, go ahead, Prof. I'm talking about this worrisome trend of a decline in our external reserves. How does it come to you, Prof?
Okay, I learned your background and maybe I should also have further context like this. The fact of the matter is that as far as that program, the website, movement results, we discover that as of 8 of June, I've gone back to a video. I'm not even talking about results. The total results have also declined to about 33.8 billion. I think it's part of the fact that the oil price has been paid much more in November 30 of the 2023. And you see that oil price is about $46 per barrel. Again, after last week, oil price is between $2.5 at Brent at $80 per barrel. So in terms of the in oil price, and also in spite of the improvement towards oil production. If you notice, oil production was down in Q4 of 2020, about 1.56 million barrels per day, but it is significantly in Q1 of 2021, according to the statistics of the third stages and the 3 years. So, we have improvements in our lives. We have increase in oil price, okay, and just contrast, we are witnessing decline in supply. Where this is not started, we are having the function of demand. And the demand side is that the economies are recovering, the systems are so international travel, for example, the state that is abroad, there is this increase from that is there. And the demand also from a good message and almost for income of raw materials. It continues to depend on raw materials income. As concerned by the recent report talking about a deficit of 2.9 billion naira, which shows that we have continued to import more, than we are exporting. So the pressure is on the demand side. Remember again that the increasing cost of fuel import is also concerning the situation. The fact that oil price is rising and the cost that we are importing, we continue to import oil, it also puts pressure on the on the oil gas. There is again the issue of our indebtedness in foreign currency. The Canada is growing, and the government is not only repaying the principal just as a month, $500 million Eurobond was repaid not long ago, and then the government continues to study for Canada.
Trying to make sense of that decline, but the audio was not too clear, so please you can just take us through that again.
The director in Sudit Oil. We want to appreciate our governor.
Impact of COVID-19 resulted in a lot of foreign investors exiting the country, and since then we've not experienced any significant inflows. The National Bureau of Statistics, in its capital importation report, has revealed that we experienced a drop even in the Q1 of 2021, and the central bank has been faced with backlog of forex demand. Okay, so and it is in meeting this backlog. It is in repaying our 500 million naira euro bonds, servicing external debt, the import of fuel that we have been doing, and the increasing demand for forex arising from foreign travels. International travels have resumed, and again demand for invisibles that include school fees, and again travel for health reasons. So it is the demand pressure that we are witnessing that is causing the external reserves to fall, despite the increase in crude oil price and improvements in crude oil production. And of course, we know oil receipts account for over 90% of our forex. So on the supply side, as I said earlier on, the other sources have still not improved. Talking about foreign inflows, talking about diaspora remittances, and so on. So that is why we'll find this decline in external reserve. If you look at this quarter alone, between April and now, the reserve, have lost over $1 billion. The highest we have seen so far, based on the data in the central bank's website, was on 16th of April, when external reserve, rose to as high as $35.2 billion. And as of 2 days ago, just as I mentioned earlier, it drops about $34 billion. So you find that in this quarter alone, external reserves have lost over $1 billion. Yeah. So
allow me to follow up asking that you've already talked about the improvement in the price of crude, but at the same time, we seem not to be seeing that because there's increase in price of crude, but our production is also limited considering OPEC's quote and all of this. Now, what do you make with CBN's efforts, particularly the likes of the Naira for Dollar scheme? This has been extended like, it's indefinitely. So there must be some positives coming from this end. Lately, the central bank also adopted the INE rates, all to try to address this margin. How well do you see all of this playing out moving on, Prof?
Yeah, first and foremost, we are witnessing an improvement in oil production. As I mentioned earlier, if you look at the average for Q1 was about over 1.7 million barrels per day, compared to what we had in Q4 of 2020, which was just 1.56 million barrels per day. And that's also confirmed by the MBS GDP report, which made it clear that the increase in GDP that we had came more from the oil sector. So the point is that the revenue from oil is growing, and one expects to also see that translate to increase in external reserve. But that's not happening, as I said earlier on, because of the demand pressure. Okay, and this demand pressure is made worse by speculative activities and round tripping that is still going on. Now the central bank, of course, has tried a lot on the demand side by introducing some demand management strategies to curb demand, one of which is the restriction is had with respect to 42 items. Now, but for this demand management strategy, the situation would have been worse today, assuming all those products or two products were allowed access to the official forex window. Now, on the supply side, there is really little the central bank can do. As I said earlier on, the oil receipts account for 90%. Now, and to change that equation, okay, will require stimulating exports as much as possible, by way of diversifying away from oil. But talking about the other measures central bank has taken, the Naira for dollar policy, we are yet to see the impact, that has had on the exchange rate and on external reserve. The whole idea, if you recall, was meant to incentivize diaspora remittances so that we could have more inflows through official channels, through the international money transfer operators. So we are yet to get a report by the central bank, talking about the performance so far. But one can hazard a guess that part of why it was extended indefinitely, was also to allow it allows time to achieve the objective for which it was put in place. So that is for the Naira for dollar policy. Regarding the devaluation that was also done by way of adjusting the official exchange rate of 3779, to now align with the I&E window rate, that's the autonomous forex rate. The whole idea too was to encourage exports and discourage imports. But unfortunately, that may not materialize in the near term. And the reason is not, again, far-fetched. The reason is primarily because once the person demanding dollars, for example, has a feeling that he is not going to bear the burden, of increase in exchange rate. Of course, it doesn't stop him from demanding dollars. Okay, take the case of fuel imports, for example. NNP is importing fuel today, and it used to import at 379 naira to the dollar. Now that the adjustment has been made, and we are now talking about 410, to the dollar. Okay, any of such imports is not going to be done by the organization. Since the government is the one that bearing the cost. So as long as the government continues to subsidize fuel imports, the devaluation of the naira may not have any impact on discouraging, if you like, or reducing the quantity of imports that are coming in. Ditto for other products. As long as the manufacturer, whoever is importing, whoever is demanding the dollar, feels that the cost of the additional cost of import, can be shifted to the ultimate consumer, then it doesn't discourage him from importing. And that's why you saw that in spite of the adjustment, the pressure has continued, even in the parallel market rate, where we thought that by now the rate should have come down. The rate has continued to increase. At some point, it even went as high as 500 naira to the dollar. So that will tell you that the idea of devaluation again has to be properly timed. If it's not properly timed, then the intention may not be realized. One of the intentions is to, as I said, improve inflows, foreign investments, and diaspora remittances. But foreign investments cannot come down with the insecurity situation we have in this country. Okay, and in my view, this insecurity is at the root of many of the challenges, many of the ills we are having in this economy, today. So with insecurity, widespread insecurity, no foreign investor will come, even if you devalue your currency to 1,000 naira to the dollar to encourage the person to come. Okay, such person will not come. Only recently, the Federal Executive Council approved additional 895 billion naira, as supplementary budget for 2021. Out of which over 770 billion is in the papers, is being widely reported. About 770 billion naira, is for defense. security, to enhance the capacity of security agencies to tackle the insecurity challenge. So, but for this insecurity, for example, the 770 billion naira, okay, could have gone into some other things, could have gone into health or gone into education, and now we're using it for just insecurity. And don't forget, defense expenditures are usually dollar denominated.
Okay.
Okay. So, and because they're dollar denominated, you will expect that will also lead to some attrition in the external reserve.
All right.
At the end of the day, foreign currency we use to procure all these equipment that they're going to buy for tackling security. So,
right.
So I think the way forward is to try to see how we can solve this insecurity problem without really throwing much money, at it. One of which is to adopt, dialogue.
All right, Professor Uwaleke, that is much time can take. We will have to continue this discussion some other time. We apologize for the challenges we had connecting you earlier. Would have had more time to talk, but now we've exceeded time. Thank you so much for your time. We'll definitely continue this very important discussion and let you bear your mind better than what has happened today. Thank you again for your time, Professor Uche Uwaleke.